Xavier Le Roy, and we are now at the Haus der Kultur Welt in Berlin.
And so please tell us, what are you doing here? It's a kind of a special event, I think.
I will show work which is called Product of Circumstances, which I did in 1999, and it's shown in the framework of this event here,
Yeah.
which is called On Research. And they basically discuss since yesterday and today what are the specificity of artistic research in relationship to scientific research. And so there are debate around this, and there will be later on a public exchange about these 2 days of work of this group of people.
Yeah.
And then in this framework I will then in the evening show this performance.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit more of your own perspective on that topic? You know, because if we see that we are in 2012 and your work, this work that you're presenting is interesting, is 1999, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
So then a lot of things have been told and said and done in relationship with this ongoing dichotomies, you know, the process, product, this is research, or this is not, or this is art practice, yet how to put it in the academic context. And I think that there is still a lot of tensions there. So if you can tell us a little bit of your perspective from even those initial developments that question a lot of things, and then this 12 years later, practically.
You mean my perspective on the work I show, or
on the work, on this idea of research, and you know, even why do you think your work is shown here in this event?
Yeah. This is interesting.
You know, why is relevant then here?
Yeah, they originally didn't invite me to show that. I'm actually replacing somebody who was not there, so so it's not exactly that the work has been chosen. But then they have asked me to do something about this idea on research, and they asked very late, and I didn't know what to do. And then after a week they said, but why don't you show this work, which is very much exposing something about the relationship between science and art, and from their point of view of research. And I don't know, I guess if they ask, and I still think what I say in this work is relevant now. It's basically tracing my experiences in the field of science, and how I went to the field of art, and
Because then there is a autobiographical aspect and your background in microbiology.
That's actually what the work tries to say. That's the relationship in this case is through my experiences of the two fields. But it's in my intention is not an attempt to put the two things together. But if we think in relationship to research, it is for sure something that has gone through my practice as I was working in the field of research in science, not like you can teach or you can do many things in the field of science, but what I was trying to work on and in was the field of research, and I have been quite disappointed by this experience. And I think what I'm doing in the field of art is also researching. It's something that I continue to do as an activity. So it's I would say that for me it's my practice to research, and I think I have this relationship to the question of production and product, which has been raised for me through the experience of science, where I had when I was doing research in the field of science, I had maybe an idealistic idea that research doesn't necessarily find It's not because you research that you find. It's also not because you research that you should not find, but definitely not that you should find. So that from that point, I understood that I had something like a question or a problem with the fact of producing or having to produce, and this has probably many different levels of analysis that one can have individually or as a relationship to the society, but in different level, to have to produce and to have to be judged through what you produce, and that was my first encounter in this field, which is now then, of course, after some years, I understand, and through other experiences, it's not specific to that field. So this is something
kind of the performativity of the field in itself. It has a very specific ways of putting it up or putting it outside.
So the question that for me comes from this experience in this field has continued in the field of art, but the difference is that in the field of art you can maybe, or I had the luck to maybe be able to construct situations where this topic could be better worked out in relationship to my intentions and my necessities, things that I could not do in the field of science. Maybe it's also because I was younger and you need to go through different experiences and understand things before.
And how do you see the aspect of the methodologies? Because of course, you know, in science, I would say that science in itself is a quite specific methodology that has, you know, research as part of this sets of methodologies. And in a way, there is this tension between the kinds of outcomes that come through these methodologies and of course the ideas of how that knowledge builds on top of each other theoretically in science. You know, like mostly in science, that is, if we get a little bit kind of using that paradigm, how do you see it in relationship with art? Because sometimes I feel like, okay, we're using it's just the word of art, the practice as research, but research is just kind of a word to talk about a series of tools that, you know, but not necessarily fit the categories that actually are used in science or the goals of science.
Maybe one could say that in the methodology that you speak about, in the field of science, you have to use tools or ways that are recognized or that you are able to trace.
Because of replicability.
And to give public as a recognized form, and each step somehow should have this recognizability. That maybe in the field of research of art you can maybe jump over one of these steps, but this is for me one of the specificity, but not the problem I have with when one understands research in the field of art as opposite to the field of science. I think it's more the how each fields deal with this little steps that are not traceable or difficult to enter in the field of representation. So if they are not put one against the other, I think this is I see from my understanding of it, I see a continuity between these two fields. It's only that the point of view and the perspective or the importance is not given to this problem in one field and is given in the other. So in the art, you are more able to, if one can say so,
Yeah, and the other thing that just to finish is the importance in a way of the formats that, for example, now we see a lot, the lecture performance, it has become this very interesting conflation or some kind of awareness of the performativity of lecturing always.
Yeah.
And so what can you tell about that? Because in a way it has become a very important forum for inclusion of the process, in that moment of sharing. And in a way it's becoming the format of sharing process, perhaps.
Yeah.
In that moment of encounter with an audience.
Yeah, it has two sides. I now think about one of this. I have one memory of a horrible case of a lecture performance where it's all about making it a lecture to escape somehow, or to it was more like a selling of the product that to be or to come. This is maybe one of the extreme example that is also a negative one. But I don't know. Yes, the lecture performance it became a format, or but is since long. Since long, but it has been named as such. So with from my understanding, a misunderstanding. It's of the two words. One wanting to excuse the other. You can also understand it like this. I think. It's an inflation also of this, which is a product of the liberal economy, of course.
Because, the economy of knowledge.
And also, you talk about what you do before you do it. So it's a way of being public before you can, which is fine enough, which is good. Only when it becomes a norm, then it's a problem. For my, I guess it's a question of how you use all this. The problem it's a problem of every media, that you can be trapped in the media is a message. So, and then it is, but it's never only the message. So of course, if you have a inflation of media awareness or multiplicity of media, then that's easy to get in this loop you talk about, that it's about the media. But I think there is a need to not forget both sides. That's it is never only about the media, and can never be not. It is never only about the media, but it can also not be about the media. It's different things. So you have to push in both directions in order that this the use of the media is not hiding the media. And it's not hiding the subject that you if the artist is working in a lab to after use something I saw which was horrible, making a dance piece where you have an interview of a scientist talking about DNA and people doing some
representation of the
spiral movement on stage. Is like, please, let's not lose time and money for this. We don't need this. So that there are, and I guess, it's possible. It depends how it is used. But this is like the worst example I can give. I don't know. Let people work together and see. But of course, we are in a society that needs to know what are you doing there. Is it productive? And then, of course, if you have to be productive, and it's the product who makes the people giving the money happy to see, they have done this, great.